Welcome to Tech News Today, a podcast about keeping you informed and empowered by giving you the latest tech stories that impact your daily life. It's Thursday, October 4th, and I'm Spike Spangle. Coming up in a bit, we'll tell you why some Apple fans are furious about the new iPhones. Plus, figuring out which Wi-Fi version your router is will be much easier soon. And you're going to love the updates Adobe is making to its PDF programs. All that and more in Tech News Today from Commando.com. We start with rumblings that there are problems with Apple's latest iPhones. People who shelled out $1,000 or more for the iPhone XS or XS Max are complaining about multiple issues on social media and Apple's help forum. Last week, we told you about people saying the signal seems to be weaker with the XS and the XS Max than previous models. A tech blogger later confirmed that their reception is worse with the new iPhones. And folks are having problems charging their gadgets. Apparently, some of the new devices won't charge when plugged into a lightning cable. It appears to be a software issue that will be fixed when iOS 12.1 is released in the near future. But wait, there's more. The next one isn't so much a problem, it's more of an annoyance. People with the XS are saying that photos taken with the front-facing camera are being tweaked with an excessive skin smoothing feature. If you zoom in on a pic, you'll notice that the images have a softer quality than normal. That's because the phone has a new smart HDR feature that combines multiple exposures to produce better images with more realistic contrasts. It's basically a beauty filter that makes pictures of skin seem to be smoother. If you're dropping over $1,000 for a phone, you'd probably want it to work right. Do you know if your Wi-Fi router is current? Whenever you're looking to buy a new one, finding out if it's the latest version can be difficult. That's because the specs read like gibberish. For example, it might be labeled something like, 802.11 blah blah. Say what? But now we have some good news. Going forward, knowing which Wi-Fi version routers are running will be much easier to read. The Wi-Fi Alliance will be adopting version numbers, so it'll be easier to comprehend from now on. Instead of trying to decipher a collection of numbers and letters, you'll just see Wi-Fi followed by a version number. So, Wi-Fi 5 would be a more current version than Wi-Fi 4, and so on. The Wi-Fi Alliance is planning on expanding this new model beyond hardware too, so if you're trying to connect Wi-Fi and there is more than one option, you'll know which one is better. If you see options Wi-Fi 4 and 5, you know to connect to the higher one, because it's the latest version. And this change couldn't have come at a better time. The next generation of Wi-Fi will be rolling out next year. Wi-Fi 6 is on the way, and it's going to produce faster speeds, along with better performance when connected to multiple gadgets. So if you're thinking about getting a new router, you might want to wait until a Wi-Fi 6 compatible model is available. And right now, a quick thank you to our friends who helped make this podcast possible. When was the last time you opened a PDF file? It stands for Portable Document Format. And when you work with them, you most likely are using an Adobe product. But programs like Adobe Acrobat have been around since the mid-90s, have been in desperate need of an upgrade. Well, we have good news. Adobe has been working to modernize the standard format with new tools. It launched a new version of Acrobat DC this week with expanded tools and artificial intelligence. Not only will the subscription software get an upgrade, but the new tools will be added to the free Acrobat Reader app and Adobe Scan too. Adobe said the changes were suggestions directly from its users. You will now be able to fill out forms, sign documents, and review PDFs without having to leave the app. Adobe Sensei is the company's artificial intelligence app, and it will now recognize blanks found in forms. Before, you would have to draw a box around where to place the text, but with the update, you just tap on the blanks and type. This makes the process much easier. There are many more new features that you might be interested in. If you want to check them out, head to Commando.com and read our Happening Now story titled Adobe's New PDF Program, Sign Docs and More. It'll tell you everything you need to know. Did you know also that there is an app for everything? Even Kim Commando. If you want to get the latest tech updates and breaking news straight to your phone, then download the Commando app today. Do you remember hearing about the top-secret hacking tools that were leaked a while back from the National Security Agency? The tools were known as Eternal Blue and led to a bunch of hacks around the world. Well, a former NSA employee may have unintentionally been part of the leak. They were sentenced last week to 5.5 years in prison for willful retention of classified national defense information. Easy for me to say. The DOJ hasn't explicitly tied the crime to the Eternal Blue leak, but the timing matches up. What happened was, they took home some classified hacking software tools and documents over a period of 5 years. They said he did it in order to get a better performance review. He wanted to brush up on the tools at home because his English was shaky and they needed extra time to study them. But that doesn't matter. Taking classified documents home is illegal, and they will be heading to prison because of it. Last week's Facebook hack is the biggest one ever suffered by the company. Up to 90 million accounts were impacted. If you remember, access tokens were stolen that are used to keep people logged into their account for long periods of time over multiple devices. Now people are worried that those stolen tokens might have given scammers access to third-party apps. Facebook is trying to do damage control to calm people's fears. Facebook put out a statement saying its logs for all third-party apps installed or logged in during the attack have been analyzed, and there's no evidence the attackers accessed any apps using the Facebook login. However, as a precaution, it's building a tool to enable developers to manually identify the users of their apps who may have been affected, so they can log them out. But can we really trust what Facebook is saying after all the company's blunders of late? Maybe not. And just to be safe, you might want to change your passwords for any apps associated with your Facebook account. As I always say, it's better to be safe than sorry. How much time do you spend looking up stuff on Wikipedia? If you've never used it, you might want to check it out. It's a free web-based encyclopedia written collaboratively by the people who use it, which can be both good and bad. On the one hand, information is updated at lightning speeds. Whenever anything interesting happens with your favorite actor or athlete, it's sure to be found on Wikipedia almost instantly. The bad thing is not all the information on this site is 100% accurate all of the time. That's why it's usually a good idea to check the sources found on Wikipedia pages to verify what's been written. The problem is, with millions of pages and links being posted over the years, many of them have stopped working. But there's good news. A team of volunteers from the Internet Archive have been working to restore the massive pile of broken links found on Wikipedia. 9 million links have been fixed so far, so those annoying 404 errors are now a thing of the past. The team plans to continue its work and fix even more links to make the site work better and faster. We're always telling people how important it is to keep your operating systems up to date, and for good reason. Most of them come with critical patches that keep hackers out, along with performance improvements that make your gadgets run faster and smoother. Microsoft sends updates to its Windows operating system quite often, and you probably have your system set to automatically update. But sometimes Windows updates fail to install properly, which can cause major headaches with your device. But don't worry, there are things you can do to make it right. The steps along the way are tedious, which isn't great for rattling off on a podcast. That's why we've written down step-by-step instructions on our website. Head over to Commando.com and search for our Happening Now story titled New Windows Update Causing Problems. Here's how to fix it. It's a really informative article that will help make your device run smooth. Check it out. By the way, once you're done listening to our podcast, do us a favor and give us a good rating on wherever you're listening to us. Write a few nice words so others can find our podcast more easily. We'd really appreciate it. And finally, for today's Commando Kicker. One of the best ways to get away with murder is probably not telling anyone that you're getting away with murder. A novelist in Portland did just that. When her husband died and the police were looking for suspects, they discovered a post that the wife had written years ago about how to kill your husband. She also didn't seem too broken up about his death, and people quickly figured out that she maybe wasn't so innocent after all. Suffice it to say, if you do have dreams of killing people, maybe posting them on a blog isn't the best idea. Just saying. For more fun and interesting facts, go to Commando.com and search for Commando Kicker. Well, that's our tech news today from Commando.com. And right now, a quick thank you to our partners who help make this podcast possible.